Alright guys, today we're over here on the Gateway Pundit commercial, thegatewaypundit.com, and we're going to talk about Ilhan Omar's family and whether or not she's even legal in the United States. So let's go ahead and get started here. The name of the article is Ilhan Omar's father was top propaganda official in genocide Barre regime. Then he changed his name and entered the U.S. illegally. This is by Jim Hoft, July 9th, 2019. And it starts out saying, on Thursday, David Steinberg published an extensive report on the alleged crimes and history of Representative Ilhan Omar and the Omar family. In his report, David found that the Omar family changed their name in order to enter the United States. In 1995, Ilhan entered the United States as a fraudulent member of the Omar family. This is not her family. The Omar family is a second, unrelated family which was being granted asylum in the United States. The Omars allowed Ilhan her genetic sister Sarah and her genetic father Noah said to use false names to apply for asylum as members of the Omar family. Ilhan's genetic family split up at this time. The above three received asylum in the United States, while Ilhan's three other siblings used their real names and managed to get asylum in the United Kingdom. Ilhan Abdullah Omar's name before applying for asylum was Ilhan Nur Said Elmi. Her father's name before applying for asylum was Nur Said Elmi Mohammed. Her sister Sarah Noor's name before applying for asylum was Sarah Nur Said Elmi. Her three siblings who were granted asylum by the United Kingdom are Layla Nur Said Elmi, Mohammed Nur Said Elmi, and Ahmed Nur Said Elmi. And guys, I apologize for name pronunciations. I'm not good at them. Never really kept up with names. 1995 pre-asylum. The Elmis. Fleeing Somalia's brutal civil war, the Elmis live in the Kenyan refugee camp from 1991 to 1995. The father was Nur Said Elmi Mohammed. The children, Leela Nur Said Elmi, Mohammed Nur Said Elmi, Sarah Nur Said Elmi, Ilhan Nur Said Elmi, Ahmed Nur Said Elmi. Okay, the Omar family, a family of Somalia heritage living in and near Arlington, Virginia in 1995. Key members, Ahmed Omar and Abdullah Omar. 1995, the first three children, that's Leela, Mohammed, and Sarah, all go to the United Kingdom and keep their same names. Three Almi siblings are granted asylum in the UK. They eventually receive UK citizenship, and you can see they kept their same name. The other, Ilhan Nur and Ahmed Nur, go over to the United States, and the three Almis change their names, join the Omar family, receive asylum, and eventually receive U.S. citizenship. Nur Said Elmi Mohammed changed the name to Nur Omar Mohammed, or was originally Nur Omar Mohammed, and Sarah Nur Said Elmi Sarah Nur. Okay, that's what they changed their names to. And then Ilhan Nur Said Elmi, Ilhan Abdullah Omar. So that's who we have today running as a representative. So 2009 to 2011 marriage in the colleges. You see they end up in North Dakota. U.S. citizen Ilhan Abdullah Omar marries UK citizen Ahmed Nur Said Elmi in Minnesota in 2009. They enroll at North Dakota State University. Ilhan graduates in spring 2011, and that's precisely when Ilhan claims they ended the relationship. 2017, we got perjury and fraud in Minnesota. In 2017, Ilhan swears under penalty of perjury she has not seen or heard from her husband since 2011 and has no idea how to find him. but their social media accounts are filled with years of evidence to the contrary. These social media posts are suddenly deleted. Ilhan could face a multitude of state and federal felony charges: immigration fraud, tax fraud, student loan fraud, marriage fraud, and more. And then we got some graphics here that show Yusuf Abdi Ali, a major in the Somali army in 1981. Facial recognition matches with Nur Omar Mohammed and, of course, the daughter, Ilhan Omar. So on the far left, Communist Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar's father and other Somalian war crimes perpetrators are currently living illegally in the United States. No wonder she supports communists, terrorists, and illegal aliens. The Gateway pundit has obtained information that is damning for Minnesota Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Omar's father, Nur Omar Mohammed, aka Nurset Almi Mohammed, is connected to the former dictator in Somalia, said Barre. Nur and other former Barre accomplices are living in the U.S. illegally. So here you have someone that's been pushing and pushing for open borders, bring them in, let them stay, let them have sanctuary cities, blah, 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 blah. And we can clearly see that she herself is one of these illegals. So again, you've got projection going on, which is nothing new under the sun. There's nothing new under the sun. What was shall be, and what is has already been. Colonel Yusuf Abdi Ali, or quote Toke, end quote, a convicted Somali war criminal who served with Ilhan's Omar's father, Nur Omar Mohammed. Members are related clans in the SRC Marxist Islamist political party. The deposed Somali dictator Mohammed said Barre. Okay, so you can just see the pictures here. I'll kind of bring the, when I edit it, I'll bring everything in close so you can look at each one of the pictures and see what they say and how they're all connected together. Omar's father, Mohammed, is living in the U.S. He and other Somalians like Yusuf Abdi Ali, who killed thousands of Barre, escaped to the West and were not vetted properly before entering the country. Barre was a dictator and was connected to Cuban dictator Fidel Castro, and as well as other dictators around the globe. And again, we got a set of pictures here. I'll just zoom right in on them, let you guys look at it for yourselves. Ali is a convicted war criminal who did the killing himself. Ali has been located in the U.S. working as security at Dulles International Airport and driving for Uber in 2019. He reportedly lived at one time in Alexandria, Virginia. Ali was a colonel in the Somalian Army's 5th Mechanized Brigade in 1987 and was a graduate of the Pentagon's program for foreign officers in 1986. He's also a war criminal in response to his actions in Somalia. And here's another graphic I'll go ahead and zoom in on again, let you guys look at it. If I'm going too quick, just simply pause the video and look as long as you need to, and then continue. Nur, Representative Omar's father, appears to have been a party propagandist under the dictator and was responsible for ideological aspects of the Red-Green Revolution. He worked for the Marxist-Stalinist regime under dictator Barre as a teacher of teachers. This could have included providing the ideological political justification for the massacres of the late 80s. It's not a secret that Ilhan Omar's father illegally entered the United States. So we had this tweet going on, Luke H. replying to them, and he says, and how exactly did her family scam their way in? Her father also worked hard to get there. They are citizens, not green card holders. She swore an oath to become said citizen. She's just as American as you and I, man. And then Maximud R. said, they worked for the brutal Barre regime. Her father worked for the regime and then came to America pretending to be one of its victims. The Nur family was well connected in the country led by the Marxist regime. Young Omar went to kindergarten at age 4. Their family lived in a secure compound in Mogadishu. When the regime was overtaken, the family caught a plane to escape the country. The average GDP per capita in Somalia was only $187 in 2010, 20 years after they fled the country when the regime fell. Obviously, Noor's family was a privileged family. And then we got a couple more tweets here. Sharon Gilman said, I'm not saying you are far right, but the only sources that publish that story are far right. Legit sources say her family was liberal. Dad, a teacher, fled war, ended up in a refugee camp. And then Maximud Omar R. said, what kind of teacher gets to catch flights after a regime falls? And then the Twitter here is this. Read in her own words, she explains the night Barre's regime, including her family, were driven from Mogadishu, and that her formerly very privileged life came to a halt. Her family was no longer welcome in Somalia. And then it gives a link over here where you guys can go continue to do your research. According to a 2016 article in Omar, when the Marxist regime was being overtaken, the secure compound that the family lived in was under attack by 20 armed men. Somehow the family escaped. It is not clear how. Either the family had superior armed guards within their compound, or they bribed the attackers and sent them on their way. Or the story is a complete fabrication. Both Ali and Nur escaped Somalia after the fall of Barre because they were no longer safe there and would have been put on trial and shot if caught. They exited the country. Both ended up in the U.S. and both hid the fact that they worked for a totalitarian regime. Both lied on their Form N-400 application for naturalization about their communist background. They had to, or they wouldn't be here. As you can see below, quote, the Immigration and Nationality Act, the INA, contains a prohibition on naturalization for anyone involved within the last 10 years with a group that advocates or teaches opposition to all organized government, or involved with the Communist Party or any other totalitarian party of the U.S., or any foreign state, or who advocates world communism or totalitarian dictatorship, even without formal group membership. Both Nur and Yusuf should be disqualified from permanent U.S. residency, and a revocation of their U.S. citizenship should take place. Representative Omar reportedly lied after she married her brother in order to assist him in obtaining U.S. citizenship. This would obviously disqualify Omar and her brother from legal citizenship. It looks like illegal citizenship is all in the family for Omar and her family. Like father, like daughter, or like son. So we'll see where this goes. We'll be paying attention to this, see where it heads. Maybe this will take her out of position. Just understand that as time moves forward, guys, if you're interested as a patriot in getting into the government, we're going to have an amazing amount of seats available to us. If you're interested in that area, just keep that in mind, that the future is going to hold a bunch of vacant seats that will need to be filled. Now, I don't know if the Q team's already working on filling those or how that's going to operate and function. I don't know. Just understand that a lot of these people that we see every day will be going down in all sorts of various different ways. These people have come over here and put on a persona of being normal everyday people, when in reality they are here to absolutely destroy this nation. And if Hillary Clinton would have been put into office, this entire game that you're watching play out before your very eyes as you're learning the truth of who these people are, you would have never known. You'd have never saw it. You'd never saw the pain coming. You'd have never saw it coming, guys, and you would have just been in absolute destruction. Okay, this is reality. This is where we are. This is why it's important that people wake up. This is important. This is why it's important to go back and see who people are. You know, it's like when you get called into these courts, you know, you're going into basically a kangaroo court. It's an admiralty court, and all the laws of the sea apply in there, not the law of the land, which is your just everyday common law. Okay, we under the Constitution, you're under common law, and you're under your God and your Maker, your Creator, and you have unalienable rights, and all these kinds of different things. And so you have got to begin to dig down and to realize who these people are and to see them for who they are, and that is that they are the enemy trying to infiltrate the United States, the minds of men, and take back control that they have lost once we elected President Donald John Trump. So anyways, guys, I hope this has helped you out in some ways. I apologize for the mispronunciation of names, guys. I you know, when it gets into that French and other languages, I have a difficult time pronouncing those names, so I just forgive me for that and take the information for what it is worth to you guys. I love you guys. Remember to get in the Word, stay in the Word, and get the Word in you. It's absolutely the most critically important thing that you can possibly do. After that, just remember that you got the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, and below them, the two most important things, love and truth. After that, peace and justice, guys. And I'll talk with you guys later.